we're going to dive right in. So, I believe that you can be a brand without being or even hiring a pro photographer or designer in these easy steps. Yes, I believe that you yourself can grow a brand and elevate your visual identity and presence online in less than 5 minutes a day. Totally stress free, totally easy, and free. Or you can hire a team like us for just $1.38 a day. So, guys, I'm Jana Marie. I'm a professional photographer, graphic designer, and visual identity expert for 15 years. And I'm super, super passionate about teaching personal brands or business brands how to connect their hearts with their brand through photos and graphics without being a professional. So, I'm here to help teach you how to kick that overwhelm and learning curve to the curb and show you how to be a cohesive brand with strong photos and graphics and planned strategies on your social media and websites. So, do you guys agree with me that it's super overwhelming not knowing what to post or how to post or when to post? If you agree, drop in some love in the comments by saying, heck yes. I'm going to show you today how to use the free software Canva to create social posts for a month. Really, I'm going to show you 12 days, which you can do this in a month using your own images or stock photos, or even utilizing our Stock Up membership for photos and graphics. So many people always want to see what this looks like on the back end, so I'm going to try to share my screen again and walk you guys through what that looks like. So I'll actually provide a link for you at the very end to click on so that you guys can access the template through the free software Canva. This is our favorite marketing software of choice. It's so easy, your grandma can do it. I say that all the time. So make sure to stay until the end to grab the link to download. I have created this tool and I truly know that it will help you intentionally and strategically plan for your social content throughout the month. So if you guys love super, super easy free software too, will you tell me in the comments? And I actually need to figure out how to open the comments. Again, this is my first live Facebook where I'm trying to share my screen and teach. So, oh, I found the comments. Awesome. Glad you guys are here, Jamie and Jonna. Keep bringing in friends too. This is going to be awesome. So the first things first, we need to talk about focusing. So make sure while you guys are tuning in today and watching that you've closed out all of your other windows. You're going to see my screen and I have like 20 tabs open, but make sure you guys close those out. Turn your phones. If you're on your phone, that's fine, but make sure you're not texting and doing other things to distract you for a bit, and truly tune in, because these are some really practical steps that I do and that I'm going to share with you that we can problem solve and take the stress away. So make sure you guys are fully here. So let's dive in. Joy Spencer, I don't know if you've heard of her. She actually talks a lot about focus, and I've learned a lot and taken away some of her own pointers. So intensive focus. This is the very first thing before we can even dive into templates and posting. We've got to be intensively focused. So this is making sure that we're setting aside time to look ahead and at least have a 30-day game plan for your projects. And 30 days is minimum. So really we should be doing 60 to 90 probably, but 30 days is kind of what I feel comfortable with. We need to have a long-term vision that supports the energy that we want to pour into whatever it is that we're doing. And then we need to be showing up with confidence and then living in our why. Because if we don't have a plan, we typically aren't showing up at all. And that's where we're feeling stuck. So if we don't get a focus, the intensive part down, then it's usually the end of the week or the month and we're thinking, oh my gosh, we haven't posted anything. No one's hearing from me. I'm not showing up. And if they don't see me, then they're not hearing my message. And then friends, this is totally a disservice to the people that we're serving. Because if they're not hearing it from us, then they'll just go to somebody else who's going to serve them what they're looking for. So having a plan in place long term on the calendar helps us wake up knowing, okay, we have content ready for the day. It'll take me under 5 minutes to do, and we're ready. So if you're a paper calendar person, which I know Jamie is, I'm sure Jonna is too, I love the idea of paper calendars. I don't actually put it in, I don't utilize it. So I'm a Google Calendar person. But regardless, make sure that during the intensive focus time, this could take you, 20, 30 minutes or maybe an hour, but make sure we're sitting down, we're putting it in the calendar. Okay, at 9 a.m. every morning, I'm going to post for 5 minutes on Instagram, and that's going to go to Facebook or whatever your choice of social media is. But if you have it in the calendar, you know it's going to happen, and you're not putting other things in the calendar at that time to distract you. So that way we can look ahead at 30 days and we're like, okay, I'm going to do this on Friday. I know this is scheduled for Tuesday. And you have your system in place, and you don't have to end your week wondering, okay, what should I post and how should I post it? And then we're just behind. And again, we're not showing up. So that's intensive focus. Then comes active focus. This is when you're putting in the work and actually getting it done. So we've scheduled in the time during our intensive focus. Now we're actively doing it. We're blogging, or we're posting to social media, or we're doing the thing that you set aside in your calendar for business to do just a few minutes a day. When we're actively showing up, then we start to gain that momentum, and the wheels start turning, and the systems become easier and easier every day. So your schedule becomes a no-brainer. You have clarity, and you're present in the way that you need to be to serve your clients in big ways. But if we don't do these things again, then we're just stuck, and we feel like, what should we do? When should we do it? And the cycle continues. So having these planned times is so important. Okay, then comes passive focus. This is the way to connect, to build that momentum without burning yourself out. And there is absolutely no guilt allowed here whatsoever. This is such an important step. So this is creating room for pleasure and enjoyment. We're giving ourselves this time to inspire and support the other focuses. It's keeping that momentum and the wheels going, because most importantly, we don't want to burn out or we just stop altogether. So when we make time for other passions like singing, my husband's a singer, or painting, or whatever it is that you love to do, that pauses our brains for business, and it keeps us inspired and alive. And then it totally correlates with the first two focuses. So this is such an important role, and also setting intentional time in your calendar for this step is huge. So now that we've learned a little bit about setting aside the time to plan in our calendar for social media posting, I'm going to do my best to try and find, bear with me, I don't know how to screen share at this point. So when you first log into Canva, remember when I said I had tons of tabs open? When you first log into Canva, this is what it's going to look like. So the coolest thing about Canva is that you can just quickly and easily search for what you need, and it pops up, or you can even find it in these categories below. Now I have tons of content in here already, because obviously I've been designing in here for our Stock Up membership. So I have organized all of my stuff into folders, and then I've also uploaded my brand kit with my colors and my fonts, etc., etc. So you guys can go that intensive if you'd like. You can, build in your colors if you're going to be utilizing this a lot, which I would recommend. You can even build in a content calendar now. And I'm not going over this part of Canva. I'm specifically going over the templates that I have built to help you guys plan your content for posts, or mostly Instagram, since it's squares. So I designed this guy for you, and at the end of our walkthrough here, you'll get access to this template so you guys can use this too. So make sure to stay till the end. Now, what I have done here is I have created what looks like an Instagram feed. So they have 3 images across, all squares, and then I've gone down 12 days or 12 posts. Now you can make this longer, or the cool thing about Canva is that you can just duplicate things and then delete them if you don't want them there. So this first pattern idea is set up so that you can either use the templates, the black squares, to be templates, and then the white squares to be photos. This is kind of going to be what you guys want your own pattern on your social feeds to look like. So again, these are just ideas I've given you. Or you can, in the dark squares, do dark photos, and then in the light squares, do light photos. And that breaks up the pattern and then creates this beautiful look as it goes down the feed. So here is an example, one sample of what it would look like to use. Now, these are our templates that we have uploaded and designed with stock up. This will be coming out in March. I'm really excited for these. I just feel like templates and photos are going to get better and better. So I have dropped in these already designed templates into the black squares, as you can see up here. I followed that pattern. So we have a template, a template, a template, a template, a template, a template. And then every other square where the white would be, I've dropped in a photo that correlates with kind of the same colors and your brand look. So if you are somebody who is maybe into fitness or health, this is kind of what your Instagram feed could look like. Now, again, these are just samples. I'm also going to show you how to use these same templates with totally different color palettes, or maybe you're an interior designer and you have nothing to do with yoga or health and you want to see what this same pattern would look like. I'm going to show you that as well, but let me keep showing you a few samples. I'm also going to bounce back here really quickly just to see if, oh, hey, April, just to see if you guys are asking questions, and feel free to ask any along the way. What if I do this actually? You guys can see my screen here. That way I can see your comments, and whenever you feel like you need to stop me or you have a question about something, you can do that. So here again is the Canva template tool that I've designed to help you strategize for Instagram. I'm not sure, April, when you tuned in, but currently we're doing a pattern that's kind of dark, light, and we're talking about putting templates in the dark spaces and then photos in the white spaces. This just is a way to make your feed look cohesive. Because I know, even for myself, as a designer and photographer, I'm opening my Instagram and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to post? So I need to get better about utilizing this as well. Sample 2 is a little more clear for me. So we've pulled in dark images in the dark squares and light images in where the light squares were. So using the same kind of pattern above, we've pulled these in. I'm going to scoot this over a little bit. Yes, picking out colors for your brand is so important. So Jonna, during your intensive focus time, this might be a great time for you to kind of figure out, depending on your business and what you're wanting to convey. Brighter images have a different feeling and darker images give a different feeling. So just trying to connect your heart with how you're wanting to portray your business and your mood and your services and all the things to the world. My favorite strategy for picking brand colors is getting a box and putting it on your table, and then just putting things you love in there, like not even thinking at all. So you find a ribbon you like, throw it in. You find a magazine clipping, throw it in. Just start. And Jamie and I did this years ago. Not sure if she completed it, but that's how I figured out my brand colors. I threw everything in, and then after a while, we realized, oh my gosh, I love yellows and golds. Like I didn't even really know, I didn't have a favorite color. And so I was kind of realizing the patterns and the things that I connected with. And I know it was Jamie that said, Jana, you love circles. And I was like, no, I don't. And she said, yes, you do. Look at your box. Everything had circles in it. And then we looked around my house, and all of my light fixtures, all of the stuff in our house was all circles. So you'll start to realize your brand really quickly and what connects with you by doing that. So hopefully that helped. Back to the samples over here. I've got another template. So I'm going to send you guys this. You're going to get to see this and see the samples. That way it kind of makes more sense. I know I'm a visual learner, so when I see it, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then I gave you a blank one to play with. So these are all the squares. You're just going to come over here. If you have images you want to upload, you're literally going to click on uploads and then upload media and pull from wherever you need to on your computer. I've already dropped some things in. I've already exported these graphics. That's why it was so easy for me to just kind of play. And let me come back up here and I'll show you what that looks like. Because maybe, I kind of debated whether I liked this here on Instagram. So, I dropped in some other, and I actually really love that. So it's so easy for you guys to kind of shift things and say, okay, I like that better there, or this makes more sense for this day. So once you've got your stuff in your calendar and you're like, okay, I'm going to have a giveaway on this day, then if you're going to post one of these a day, this is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. So on day 6, you're going to have a giveaway. You've got that in your calendar, and you've also pulled in the graphics that you need and the hours or the days or the information, and it's in there. So it seems overwhelming. That's why I started this whole workshop or live training today on being intensively focused and taking that time that you need to write it in your calendar, have a game plan, because once you do, then this is so easy. You can just be dragging things around that fit for you, or maybe you don't have content that you're posting. You can just drag in some pretty, maybe questions or facts or something that just looks good there. So sometimes we don't have to be so full of content. It can just be something inspirational or a quote. So that's how you drag them in. It's as easy as that. Boom. Okay, coming down here, you guys play with this one. The next pattern is maybe all graphics in the black again and all photos in the white, or you can do all dark photos in the dark and all light photos. This is one of my favorites, and I'm going to show you why. So I've created the visual again. We've put in the graphics, and I stuck with the green, so it was cohesive there for 3 days. It doesn't have to align together, but they look really great together. So you've got the green on one line, and then you've got the white. And you know what? So many people are like, I don't like when people do this kind of stuff to their social feeds because you post one image and everything shifts and it looks out of whack. It actually doesn't. I mean, your colors and your brand are still cohesive in there. And then once it aligns back up, voila, it's beautiful again. Or I know me, for a while, I was just posting 3 at a time. So it kind of depends on what you want to do again and how you plan that out. I apologize. My dogs are in the background barking. So this is why I love this pattern so much. You can take one image. Now, in this tool that I'm showing you right now, this is actually what you're going to use to put in the correct photos you want and the correct templates to then export and use on social. I'll show you how to export it at the end so that it cuts all of these, and then you have 12 templates or 12 posts, I guess, ready to go. So if you want, you can take this and just pull it all the way across. Now see, it's still behind this image. So while this one is selected, go to position and then bring to front. And look how beautiful that is. Maybe you felt a little overwhelmed and maybe this was too cluttered or you couldn't figure out pictures. I used to do this on my feed all the time and I just thought it was so pretty. Your just aesthetics and your ideas of what you want to do change all the time. So I haven't been doing this currently, but I do love that. And look, I can pull this one over and do the same thing. Go to position, bring it forward. And then this is what your feed could look like. Maybe you flip-flop these so you have some food over here and empty space over here, and then you just fill in your graphics in the middle. Like, just again, depends on the pattern that you want. So sorry, I'm forgetting. There we go. That is sample 1. So sample 2 would be using dark images again in the dark and then light where the light is. And we're going off of this pattern. So this is another sample you guys can play with. You can also do the same thing and drag and play. But this blank one here is for you guys to use. And if you want, you can, when you get this template, you can delete these or you can keep them up if it helps you. Whatever works. Feel free to edit this. This template is your own. If Jonna opens one and then Jamie wants to get in, it's not going to mess Jamie's up and vice versa. And April can get in and it's going to be your own and you guys can delete, drag, drop, move anything you want. Okay, here's another pattern for Instagram. Just one more pointer really quick. Instagram actually posts straight to Facebook if you have your two social accounts connected. So that's another way to let go of some stress, because I know a lot of people are like, I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have so many places to post. Well, I tell my husband all the time, hey, Deandra, oh, hey, I'm so glad you're here. We're jumping right into a template that I'm providing for all of you guys at the end of this so that you guys can plan social posts. And I've created patterns that work for Instagram and then given you some samples. So you can jump in and play with this. But thanks for tuning in. Currently, I'm telling everyone to go connect their Instagram to their Facebook, because what I do when I post my Instagram stories or my Instagram post, that's all the places that I post. And then it goes right to Facebook, and I don't even have to get into Facebook and look. Unless I'm seeing people commenting and interacting, then I go into it and I interact, because that's great for SEO and for showing up for my clients and having conversation. But to cut out some more overwhelm, just post here and then that's it. Now I'm talking strictly Instagram and Facebook today. I know there's other channels as well. So kind of pick your favorites and learn those and run with them, and don't be so overwhelmed with too much. So Instagram feed, this is what, your feed could look like. Dark, 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 dark. And I actually lost my text here, but you guys get the idea by this pattern, right? I thought it would be kind of cool to put in maybe just a white box where all of these spaces are and put in a quote. Depending on the person you are, depending on what you're offering, maybe have a quote in that pattern and then fill in templates everywhere else. If you don't want templates and you just want to be pulling in photos, these are the stock photos that are offered by Canva. So click on photos here. You can search anything. So, I would type in health and then you can start playing again. You just drag it in, visually see where you like things, what works well together, kind of stay within your color palette. So maybe if your color palette had blues and bright colors, you could just start finding those as you're searching. These are totally, you can use these for your websites, for your marketing, for your social. That's what Canva is made for. And this is why I love it so much. It's such a powerful tool. Let me pull in a few more of these just so you guys can see me at work. You can even pull in somebody. Or if you have your own pictures, upload those again right here. I'm going to show you what that looks like. These are all of my own images. So maybe we actually do that here. Instead of pulling in Canvas, I'm going to show you, okay, you're not a health and wellness brand. You're an interior designer and you want to, inspire people to have a mid-century kind of look, something I know April loves very much. So let's just pull in some of my pictures, and I'm literally going to just drag and drop like you've been watching me and just make sure they work well together visually, how you want your feed to look. So maybe I do a light one here in between these. If you want to adjust it, you just double click and then reposition. Easy. Let's see, play with a few more. See, circles. You guys, I have a thing for circles. And of course, you want to spend a little bit more time, but once you sit down for maybe 30 minutes a month to do this, then once you export these, you already have 12 posts ready to go. That's 12 days worth of content. If you really love this pattern, how it's going, then just duplicate it. Duplicate the pattern and start over. Just pull in more quotes, more images. Now you have 24 days worth of content. You want more than 30, so you have a whole month. Duplicate it again and keep doing the same thing over and over. That way you look like kind of an art piece. You're not even professional designers or photographers, but you can look like it. And that kind of quality is going to remind your clients that they're here for you. Not only do they love you, but what you're displaying on your feed is connecting your heart to your visuals, and then they're connecting better to you. So it's all encompassing. When we post horrible photos or a horrible design and it doesn't reflect us and it's different than our colors or different than our mood, then people are going to wonder if we even know what we're talking about. So this is super important. And as you guys can see, once I start pulling in, actually, I think I would like that there to kind of break up the colors. Yeah, let's do this. maybe this. So I'm staying within the same colors again. I have the same vibe. And now I've got 12 days worth of posts. And then if I was an interior designer, maybe I could talk about, for a quote, you can Google quotes, make sure you're crediting the person who says it, or you can just say like, home is where the heart is, or whatever you want to make up. And you can change that size. Fonts are so easy. Just, click, change the size here. If you don't like the font, you're gonna use the toolbar up here for your font. So you can change the font, you can change the colors. Once you put in those brand colors, like I showed you at the beginning, then you have all of your brand colors. It's so easy to never forget or have to go find color swatches, etc. So hopefully that gives you an idea. Like I used the exact same pattern. It looks completely different than the health and wellness, but it works. An interior designer, a makeup artist, a model could use these too. Circles make the world go round. Yes, they do. There's so much meaning to circles. So I've got lots of different patterns up here. You guys can go back and play with these. Here's your own blank one to play with. Just start dragging and dropping in. Utilize the templates up above. This should not take you a ton of time. I wouldn't sit here and be just overwhelmed and inundated with, oh my gosh, what should it look like? Just what does it make you feel? We're all about feelings here. So maybe this doesn't work for me. Just pull something else in. And if you like it, keep it. If you don't, you don't. But once you've got this done for 12 days, don't go back and revisit it. You've got 12 days planned. You guys are going to have to go back and watch my live because at the beginning I discussed having intentional and active time and then time for other passions so that you can not burn out and you can keep the inspiration and motivation going. So having that intentional time to sit down with a calendar, put it in the calendar and know you have 5 minutes a day to post just this one post. And then the next day you have 5 minutes in your calendar to post just this one post. The next day you got 5 minutes. If it's in there, you're not doing anything else at that time on your calendar but posting this. And you've got to know your audience. So somebody like my husband who runs a coffee shop, his audience is probably up before the sun because they love coffee. They're morning people and they're checking their phones right when they wake up. So he might want to post this first quote at 5 a.m. or whenever he gets up. And that's his 5 minutes for the day. He can come back at the end of the day, just another quick pointer for social. He can come back, make sure he's interacting with whoever's talking and commenting. So maybe, 8 minutes a day, but don't sit for very long and comment and go down a rabbit hole. I know some of us go down that rabbit hole, we get distracted, we open our phone, we don't even remember what we're doing. So if it's intentional and in the calendar, I know I'm posting this, not looking at anything else. I'm not checking emails. I'm posting this and I'm going to comment. And one of my personal favorite things to do is put on a 3-minute song. That's my favorite on my phone. Get to posting this, and when that 3-minute song is up, I gotta get off. I'm not gonna stay and look at other people's feeds and get distracted because I got work to do, and we gotta keep the whole point of me creating this tool for you guys is so that you can keep creating on and doing the things that you love to do, and you don't have to worry about all of the social and the posting. Showing up is just so vital because people want to know that you're active, that you're working, you're inspiring, and so this is an easy way to do that. So let's just, for kicks and giggles, since we've got models here, let's go to the Canva's photo section and let's just type in models. Let's see what happens. And again, if you have your own pictures, I would encourage you to use them. I'm also going to be teaching non-photographers how to photograph their own things. So make sure you guys, follow along my own Instagram for when I'm releasing that workshop. But for now, if you need photos, you can use these. It's totally fine. We have used them for Rochester, my husband's company. Nobody knows. We type in beer. Nobody knows if it's their coffee or their beer, and we use these all the time. These look like our glasses, so who knows? Okay, back to models. Of course, it's going to pull up lots of people, so you might not want to use those, but you could type in something else that resonates with you or something that you're wanting to discuss more. Maybe you are a model and you're super passionate about I don't know, makeup. You know, you could tie in your own pictures with, look at all this pink. It's like it's perfect and meant for me. So maybe you drop in all of these. Boom, boom, boom. Now I picture this handsome model right here, your face in all of these squares. And then you could put in a quote if you like. And see, I don't like those together. So then just swap it out, you know, move it around. It's so easy to play. And look how that looks like a perfect feed. Wow, so gorgeous. Might play with some more stuff. Nope, don't like that. Yeah, and then just drop in your quotes here. Put in your own images, put in some things that resonate with what you're doing. Obviously, this might be a model, but maybe she really likes makeup, and so she's gonna pull in those details as well. So hopefully that gives you guys some inspiration to get in here and start playing. I'm gonna show you now what that looks like to export and then cut. So of course you're not gonna post this whole thing to Instagram because we've created a grid here. So I'm gonna show you how to download. Let's just do this one. So I'm gonna download page 6 as a PNG. It's already sized semi-appropriately, so I wouldn't worry, or you can bump it up and make it a little bigger. And I don't want to export all of them right now. I'm not quite ready for that. If you guys want to plan your whole 30 days in here, then awesome, export all of them, or you can just do a page. So I'm gonna download that. Save it to wherever you want on your computer. I would also make sure you're being organized in that way with your photos or your posts. You know, I could go to my desktop and create a folder and say social posts, Instagram, and then just drop in this whole piece we just created. So I've got 12 days already just from this in this image. Let me open it up really quick so you can see what that looks like. It does not download to Canva the way I just did it. I always download things to my desktop or my hard drive, Jonna, just so that I have it backed up. It's in my possession. I'm sure Canva's great to post things right to social. Now, with this template, again, you can't. You have to cut it first. But I just don't really trust a lot of programs to do that the correct way. So I would rather have it in my possession and then upload it like normal. So now that I've got this here, you can see it exported just like this. So you've got to open this free software. Canva's free, we love free. And then here is another free software. I've got the instructions below. So you'll click on this word. I'm just gonna grab the link because I don't have it open. Again, don't be overwhelmed by, oh my gosh, Jana, I've got to learn something different. These are super, super simple, and I'm walking you through it so that you can see to go right to where you need to go and to not be overwhelmed with having to learn every single button and menu item. Just use what you need. So this is just going to cut like you see how you want it to. This is more along the lines of what we did, so we're going to cut like this. If you want to cut this way, you can. The sky's the limit. So scroll down to this section. I'm going to choose that file I just exported and saves to my desktop in that folder. So boom. Now remember, these are posts on Instagram. So that's 3 across and 4 down. So whenever you upload this, it's going to say, how do you want it cut? You're going to cut it in 3 parts going in the width, and then in 4 parts going in the height. So side note for my Stock Up members who are tuning in, when you have a carousel template, this is also how you cut it. So our carousel templates come in long pieces like this, and then we cut it multiple ways this way. This is the exact same program, the exact same video I created for you guys to walk through to cut those two. So this is why I love doing things in this way. Where are we at? Because I like to see it quickly. I use an app called UNUM. I never know how to say it. And I can upload photos. It has the same type of thing. I can upload photos. I can swap them. It's just not as quick. This system I built for you guys here, you can, upload your pictures in. You can swap it out super fast. You can use the graphics that I've given you guys, drop them in really quick. And it is so much faster. So this is why I love this. this way. But you can definitely download the free app if you'd like. Once I've got the parts and width at 3 and then the height for 4, you can choose JPEG 100%, or you can do a PNG. I always do JPEG and then click OK. While it's working, it's going to put everything in a zip folder for you, or it's going to cut every image that you need individually. So you can download all these individually, or yay, or you can download the zip. So again, I download the zip file wherever I have organized. You can see I cut this yesterday because I was practicing, but I created this today. So I'm going to organize it all in there. And then once you open that and unzip it, all of your posts for 12 days are in there. Hallelujah. Literally everything's done and ready to go. Of course, you would have put in the info you needed, but you can see, and you would delete my sample one. You can see these are all done and ready. So when you go to post these for the 5 minutes you scheduled tomorrow, I've got this image tomorrow. Yes, it looks a little weird, but maybe this post is more about a message you want instead of a distracting image. Or if you want these that go all the way across together to be posted at the same time, just post them at the same time. People do that and it's okay. And I can show you feeds that do that and they're very successful at it. But these make a little more sense because they're more individualized. So you kind of have to figure out what you want. If you want this to be an individual picture and that an individual, or if you want them to run across like I showed you. So let's come back to this really quick so I can show you. If we wanted to change that, maybe you don't like it once you export it, just come back in. I've already created all of these guides. See how the pink line lines up with all of these images? I've already set these where they need to go to be cut the right way. So just open that back up or close it, or however you want to say that. Put it back in the box and then there you go. If you want to turn on the rulers to see, or the guides, I'm sorry, to see those blue lines that I've created for you, that's where it's going to cut in that program, then there it is. You can just snap it right to it. So simple. You didn't like this one either, just put it back. There you go. So again, I've created this template to be 12. I think having 30 long was a little wild. So if you love this layout, you want to keep it up, just duplicate the page. It's already there. And then you just start the same thing you did before. You can see the 3 images you already used. I have not used this template yet. So why not drop that one in? You know, start dropping in the new ones that you haven't used quite yet. And you'd want to play with it. I'm doing it fast for you guys, but there you go. There you go. And boom. Now I've got 12 more. I got to switch out the photos, but that's how easy it is, and it should be. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Canva is free. You guys can utilize all the templates you want from them. You can utilize all the photos you want. The problem is that people get in and they find, now this worked like a charm, but most people come in and they find a photo they like this, that works for them, and then they can never find other images that match that and that match their brand, and then they get stuck with having 1 or 2 cool photos and then no more. So the reason we created Stock Up, our membership, was to provide a cohesive look from start to finish, and then to keep growing that. So as you see the images I pulled in for the interior space, the mid-century home, these all go very well together, and you've got enough photos. There's about 35 here, 40 maybe, so you've got 40 days worth of photos to post. And then we've also created the templates as well. So we try to take our own photos, put them in our own templates, that way you guys can see how they work together. These are templates we've designed, and they, again, we're creating not just 1 or 2 cool ones, we're creating the same color palette that all work together. I'm going to show you really quickly before we go. Maybe you love this template but you don't like the color palette or the images in it. I'm going to show you how to change that, because when you get access to the Stock Up photo and template membership, this is how you're going to receive them. So you can see these are squares for Instagram. We've got Facebook covers, and then we have stories and carousels. So maybe you want to utilize I'm going to make a copy really quick just so I don't edit on my original. So let's edit on a new template here. Okay, so you guys love this pattern, right? You want to put this pattern in these templates, but you want it to look like your brand colors and your branded stuff. So I'm just going to close some of these, sorry. Let's start changing colors. All you do is start selecting and changing. It's that simple. So maybe you have a bright, let's say bright blue, bright yellow, bright pink. Maybe that's your brand colors. Click on it. You can come in here to the color wheel and select your own. The cool thing is Canva is so smart. These are the document colors, so it's kind of the mood of what we've created, right? And then I have my brand kit again, and then here's just some other wild colors. But you can always go and, you know, find your own that you love. So let's just find a bright blue. Maybe this is gonna be kind of that cool, yes. And then you have pink and yellow. So I might not put pink here, just as a graphic designer tip, because it's a lot of bright on top of each other. So you kind of want to have that, you know, gray or black or something that's neutral so that it's not super crazy. Maybe down here this becomes your pink. Whenever you have your brand kit in here, it's going to be so easy. You don't have to go hunt for the photo. You just click on these. These are my brand colors, so I just select them, and that's how I make it personal to me. So let's go find that pink that you'd be using. This is not my brand, this is somebody else's. So they might like this together. Same thing with a photo. Maybe you want a photo of balloons. So you can search their library, just drop the balloons right in there, and boom. Maybe you even change this to be the color, that pink. And now it matches your brand and still has the same design that you loved, but it looks like you. And maybe you even want this to be brighter. This is why it's so cool. You just drag and drop it, play a little bit, boom, you're done. There's your post. So whenever you see these graphics over here, I've uploaded these as JPEGs into my uploads so that I can put them in. They're supposed to be done for this portion of this, but this is where you're actually working on the templates. So you're typing in your information, hug someone you love for 5 minutes, whatever you're putting in, and then you're exporting these, done, with all the info in, and dropping them in here to just start playing with your social media patterns. So I would maybe sit down 30 to 45 minutes a month after you've sat down with your intensive time and planned, okay, 5 minutes a day on this Monday, the first Monday of the month, and the third Monday of the month, I'm going to spend 20 minutes, you know, designing my 12 days worth of content. So spend like 30, 45 minutes doing this. Your images should be already uploaded in here, your graphics or whatever you're using, and then you're just dragging them over. This shouldn't take you more than, I mean, really 20 minutes once you get a good hang of it, but 30, 45 minutes max. And then you're done for the month. You've planned it all and you're ready to go. So, do you guys have any questions about any of this? Does it make sense how easy? I can keep showing you too how these colors can stay cohesive with the above up there. Boom, boom. Maybe you even make this kind of an ombre, if I can select it. So once downloaded to your computer, do you send it to your phone or upload it to Instagram? So I'm a Mac person and I love AirDrop. I AirDrop things back and forth all day long. So I will show you really quickly what I do once I get this done. So there you go. Again, that could match your brand right there. So I'm gonna, if I want to export just these like this as a JPEG, I can send this to my phone and post. However, the whole point of me teaching this today is to utilize this template I gave you so that you can have content for 12 or 24 or 30 days and that you don't have to think anymore. You know, you got 5 minutes tomorrow morning, you wake up, you post it. So I love this because you've done all the work over here. I've downloaded these back to my folder. Let's just go ahead and do that, page 2 and 3. Because again, I'm a visual learner, so let me just do that for those of you who are. and then I'll get back to your guys' other questions. I'm going to go to the folder that I created, and I'm going to say Instagram post, whatever you want to name it. Okay, so it's exporting those two. I did 2 and 3, I believe. Yep, 2 and 3. Okay, don't send these to your phone and upload these individually. You can totally do that if you want. My whole point is scheduling out 12 to 24 days or whatever so that you don't have to think. So you've got these complete. Don't leave these blank. Fill out your info. We're going to pretend like they're done. Now I come into the templates. Now I take those photos and I drag them in, or you can click upload. It works the same way. So they're done. Now is when you start playing with the patterns. Do you see what I mean? So if I had created, this is why StockUp is just so great, because we've got all of these just pre-planned and pre-done for you. It's just a matter of you guys changing them to fit your brand and your images. Maybe you've got DeAndre's face right here and it says, join me for, my runway today or whatever, and it's yes or no. Or will you join me? And then that's his post. So you want to do all of these. They've got their own templates as well, so you guys can love on those. StockUp is just great because we have a very cohesive look for brands, and then you can duplicate these a million different ways and change the colors. But once you've got all of those done, like you saw me just do those two, export all of them. Put them back in over here. See, I have 2 different tabs. So now that I've got them in, now is when you start dragging them into the pattern that you chose. You don't have to do all these patterns. I would pick one that resonates with you. These are just 3 examples of patterns, and then I gave you visuals so that you can see how those patterns work. So for me personally, on my photography page, I try to do this one. I try to do dark photos and light photos because I have a wide range of color palettes with different weddings, and I don't want it to just look like a clutter. So I do dark, light, dark, light, dark. That's how I keep that easy, and I just stick with this. For you guys, maybe you like this idea and you want to run this way. So just start dragging all these in here. Make it work for you. You want to delete my text. And then you export this and cut it. So it seems like a few different steps there. I can send you guys an email too and walk you through what that looks like. I'm only showing you these here because I know some of you are StockUp members, and this is what it looks like when you open it, and this is how you edit it. If you're not a StockUp member like DeAndre, you need to be in there. Click on templates and then just find the ones you love. You can search anything. I search for beer and coffee all the time for Philip, but once you click on that, it drops it in, and there you go. You have a template. So then you can just go back to the photos. Maybe you're that balloon lover because you wanted to match all of this. Maybe you want this to be pink. You can match it to this font too. So you select it, and it's called Amsterdam. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to find Amsterdam, if I can spell it. Heaven forbid. You get what I mean. And then you just utilize their templates with ours if you want. The sky is the limit with Canva, which is why I love it. And it's free. Or if you're a member of ours, it's $1.38 a day. So, okay. Let's come over here. This is awesome. Thank you for the walkthrough. Yes. Can you change the template to fit a specific trend that's going on in the future, if that makes sense? So are you meaning maybe you want to change the patterns? So, because I know for a while, as I mentioned, in my photography, on my photography page, I was doing these. I was doing the trend of running the full photos all the way across. And I loved that because I saw that it was done well. You've got that nice pattern, but then I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. So you can switch it up if you want. I just wouldn't do 12 days of this, 12 days of something different up here, and then, 12 days of something, because then it just, again, starts to look like you don't have your stuff together. So stick with patterns, stick with what feels good to you, what resonates most with you. I know just a huge brand pointer. We can look at other people all day long and say, man, that works for them. What they do is so cool. Like, I want to be like that. But it's not truly us. You admire that, and that is awesome. But finding you, like finding your own rhythm and your own colors and your own style, is what is going to make you successful quicker, because you're connecting your heart again with your visuals, and then they're hearing that message and seeing the authentic you, and it's resonating with them better. So don't try to do what others do. Trends are awesome, but I would make sure that it makes sense for you and you're not just doing it because it's a trend, because trends go, and then you're left with what was. I mean, if you're going to put your own identity in what's currently happening, it's going to shift a lot. So find you, and then just be cohesive to you. So anyway, do you guys have any other questions? Because I think that's everything I've got. I'm going to send you guys the link here to sign up to download. This is what I'm going to send you. Put your name and info in here, and it will email you these templates, and you can have them right now, like in a matter of seconds, and you can play with them. So if you guys have any more questions, let me know. Shoot me an email. If you're a Stock Up member, say it in our Facebook group, and enjoy these templates. It should be super fun, super easy.